Hey, what's up? Cheap beer for you to drink. I am JJ. Now, honestly, is this a beer that you have seen before? Is it a beer that you've had? Is it a beer that you knew existed at all or still existed? I'm curious because Michelob Light is the beer by the Michelob Brewing Company, which surprise Anheuser-Busch, one of their many brands that they have. I was watching. I had a VHS of my grandparents' wedding, and my dad asked me to put it on a DVD for him, so I did. And it was a 2 hour long tape, and at the very end was a Michelob commercial, and it got me thinking about Michelob beers. In it, they just featured Michelob, now called Michelob Lager. They had Michelob Light and Michelob Dry, which I don't believe is around anymore. And then I started doing some research because I've had Michelob Light before. It's a beer I've talked about, but I haven't done a video on it, and we're going to try it today and see if it's a good light beer. Because everyone's had Michelob Ultra. All the new Michelob beers that come out, even their seltzers, are under the Michelob Ultra branding, not Michelob. There is a new Michelob Ultra Amber Max. Their latest beer is out. The seltzers are Michelob Ultra seltzers. There's the ones with the lime and the cactus, the infusions. But there's also just regular Michelob beers. Now, if you go to, I'm curious on this packaging. I'm going to take these bottles out because I'm going to look around. If you go to Michelob.com, which used to be their website, yeah, it even says here at the bottom of the can, Michelob.com, or at the bottom of the pack. If you go to that website, it directs you to MichelobUltra.com. There's not an Anheuser-Busch website, no Michelob website that talks about these beers, talks about their Amberbach, or talks about their lager. I just think it's so interesting that on the rare occasion I see this, there's no other mention of this beer existing. Just think it's strange. I've had it before. Got it at a bar, and I said, Michelob Light? What is that? I didn't even know that existed. Bought some, enjoyed it. Haven't had it since, but I remember liking it. I don't know that I've seen Michelob Lager in person. I think it still exists. It's on a lot of those beer delivery websites, but so are beers like Michelob Golden. I think that's the name, Michelob Golden Lager, and Michelob Golden Light. Never heard or seen these, but they're all over websites. Let me know in the comments if you've seen those Golden or Golden Light beers, or if you've had a Michelob Lager, just the regular Michelob beer. Let's try this one. Michelob Light. It is 4.1% alcohol. I feel like that was a lot of talking before we actually get to it. I just think it's so interesting that on the internet, according to Anheuser-Busch, these really don't exist anymore. So weird. 122 calories. 8.9 grams of carbs. Protein is what it says on here. And again, 4.1% alcohol. And again, there at the bottom of the packaging, it says tap into your beer.com, but all the Anheuser-Busch beers say that. And then it says Michelob.com, which is a website that doesn't exist. It takes you to Michelob Ultra, and then you click beers at the top, and it's all the Michelob Ultra beers, not the Michelob beers. So weird. So let's pour a little bit out. I don't remember anything too remarkable about it. I just remember thinking to myself, yeah, I'd rather have that over Michelob Ultra. I mean, I don't mind Michelob Ultra, but I'm like, it has a little more flavor. It's like still really smooth. I didn't hate it. So let's try this out. Oh, yeah, I go to a restaurant, Submarine House is the name of it. It's in my area. They always have Michelob Ultra on draft, and they do weekend beer specials. And for whatever reason, I always just seem to get Michelob Ultra. It's the only place I go and get it on draft. But I do. And it just instantly took me to being at that restaurant because it's what it smells like. It smells just like Michelob Ultra. And I'm usually drinking out of glasses like this. So just took me right back to being at at that bar. Probably a bad idea having minty gum right before doing this. Um, yeah, I wasn't really thinking. I just went right into doing it. It actually tastes remarkably similar to Michelob Ultra. Maybe too similar. Maybe I'm beginning to understand why you don't see this one as much. Because it does taste a lot. Man, it's just a little less light. I mean, obviously, this is light and that's ultralight. Yeah. It's so close, though. I mean, it basically just tastes like Michelob Ultra. But maybe you poured a little Bud Light or something in the glass. Like, it's so close that you might as well just get the Ultra because it's easier to find. I really want to get my hands on the Michelob Lager though, because that's got to taste. That's got to taste pretty good because it's so good. And actually, it tastes a lot more like a good beer. And it's a shame that when you go to get Michelob Ultra Light, you lose that flavor. It's a good flavor. Not sure how to describe it other than incredibly smooth, little bit more flavor than a Mick Ultra. But it's just so strange to me that these really don't exist. I just picked this up about a half hour ago, and when I was at that store, the owner was like, "Oh, Michelob Light." I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "That's my favorite light beer." I'm like, that's a strange thing to hear someone say. I didn't say that to him, but just and then he started talking about Michelob Ultra. He's like, I was never a big fan of Michelob Ultra, but Michelob Light, my favorite beer. He's like, I'm not sure why we got it in though. We didn't order it. So it's not a beer that even they carry. I hardly ever see it. There's only one liquor store around me that regularly carried it. Other than that, I don't see it ever. So he was even surprised. He was the owner of this little carryout, and even he was surprised that they had it. Michelob Light. I brought along a Bud Light just to kind of see if I were given the opportunity, would I take a Michelob Light over a Bud Light? I would take both. Either or. But it does taste pretty similar to a Bud Light. Somewhere in between a Bud Light and a Mick Ultra. Bud Light appears to be a little lighter. Fresh can of Bud Light. I think I prefer the Mick Ultra. I think I prefer the Michelob Light. Honestly, even has more flavor than a Bud Light. So strange that they don't. This 0.1% more alcohol in the Bud Light. I just don't. Why don't they just stop making it? If they're not promoting it at all, if none of their websites have it, why not just stop making Michelob and Michelob Light? It makes me wonder if this is one of the last chances you'll have to pick it up. The website doesn't exist. Nowhere online except for like the delivery service and the beer review websites. Those are the only places you can find it. American Light Lager brewed with a blend of, oh goodness, I can't pronounce any of those hops. Not even gonna try. Spalt, Streisel, Hallertau, I don't know. St. Louis, Missouri. Let me know your thoughts on Michelob Light. If you've had it recently, if you haven't had it in a while, if you've never had it. Even the packaging, I mean, it doesn't even look modern. It just seems like they don't care about these beers. It's almost like a craft beer at this point, how rare it is to find. It's kind of got that look to it. I don't know. It's got the rarity. Michelob, what's up with their beers? Do they still make the Golden and the Golden Light? I don't know. Do they still make Amberbock? I haven't seen that in a while. The only Amber Michelob I've seen is the new Amber Max under the Michelob Ultra branding. And I think I remember liking Amberbock too. I know Tony, who's been in some videos, my brother-in-law, liked Amberbock more than the Amber Max. I believe he said that. I think he's had it. He didn't like the Amber Max too much. All right, I'm done rambling about how weird Michelob is. Anheuser-Busch, why? Why are you planning on getting rid of Michelob Light? A pretty great light beer. $7.99 though for this 6-pack, which is pretty expensive. The same price, I think, as Michelob Ultra. Is that a little more than Bud Light? It was 8 something after tax. I think I can normally pick up Bud Light for $5.99. Maybe it's $6.99, but not $7.99. That seemed expensive, so that was kind of strange. Michelob Light here on Cheap Beer for you to drink, and even the Michelob isn't that cheap. Leave your request down below. Looking for some great beers that I haven't had in a while, and we can talk about it right here on Cheap Beer for you to drink. I appreciate you watching. And yeah, if you have not subscribed already, please do so. I would definitely appreciate it. It's Cheap Beer for you to drink. Thanks for watching.